وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns before we begin? This is your chance. Play. Khair. I fully tend to finish Hadith number one tonight, inshallah. Okay. There's a lot of material to cover. This microphone working, inshallah. I'm going to get. I am going to get through as much of the material tonight as I can, inshallah. So I'm going to perhaps speed through a few things, but I fully intend, inshallah, next week to start Hadith number 2, inshallah. Okay. So I'm going to read the Arabic, inshallah, because I know that it's something that I didn't do last week, and it's very good to open with the words of the Prophet before any other individual's speech. So I will read the Hadith in Arabic, and I will read the translation, because there are specific points regarding the Hadith that you're going to need to know the terms from the Hadith in order to have the discussion today. عن أمير المؤمنين أبي حفص عمرو بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى فمن كانت هجرته إلى الله ورسوله فهجرته إلى الله ومن كانت لدنيا يصيبها أو إلى امرأة ينكحها فهجرته إلى ما هاجر إليه. رواه إمام الحديث المحدثين أبو عبد الله محمد بن إسماعيل بن إبراهيم مغيرة ابن بردزبة البخاري وأبو الحسين مسلم الحجاج بن مسلم القشيري النيسابوري في صحيحيهما اللذين هما أصح كتب المصنفة. On the authority of the commander of the faithful, Abu Hafs Amr ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu said, I heard the messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying, surely all actions are driven by intentions, and verily every man shall have that which he intended. Thus, he whose migration was for Allah and His Messenger, his migration was for Allah and His Messenger. And he whose migration was to achieve some worldly benefit, or to take a woman in marriage, his migration was for that which he migrated. This was related by the Imams, scholars of Hadith, Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Ismail ibn Ibrahim Mughira ibn Bardizbah al-Bukhari, and Muslim ibn Hajjaj ibn Muslim al-Qushayri al-Naysaburi in their collections of authentic Hadith, which are the most authentic works compiled. The Prophet ﷺ begins his statement by saying, Innama al-a'malu bin-niyat. This word innama is something that you have probably heard time and time again when you read the Quran. And a variation of this word innama is the word inna. Right? Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar comes from the same word. Inna is used to put emphasis on a particular point. But when the Prophet ﷺ, or when anybody uses the word innama, they use the inna and then they put this particle of ma at the end. Not only is it emphasis, but it gives exclusivity. So what does that mean? It means that the ruling of what the Prophet ﷺ is about to say is limited to this subject. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. That indeed only actions are by their intentions. Actions are by their intentions. The Hadith seems to imply that no action can occur except with an intention. Does that sound about right? إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Indeed, actions are by their intentions. Yes? Okay. However, isn't that contrary to logic? Let me rephrase the question. The Prophet ﷺ says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. that indeed only actions are by their intentions. Which would mean that actions only occur when there's an intention behind it. That's what's understood from the what is apparent from the hadith. Yes? Isn't this contrary logic? What do I mean by that? Don't actions occur without intention? It does happen, yes? Have you ever what they call manslaughter? Right? Where someone accidentally kills someone, but there's no intention behind it. Right? Or for example, you might drink some water during Ramadan. Did you have an intention behind it? Not necessarily. Right? Enter the masjid with your right foot. But did you have an intention behind it? Not necessarily. So isn't there a contradiction in essence between what the Prophet ﷺ is saying and versus what we actually know to be the truth? There's an apparent contradiction. Yes, and I'm going to use quotation. Apparent contradiction. Yes. Okay. This then gives us something important from Islamic legal theory perspective. Now, what I love about studying hadith is that you just don't study the hadith. You study tafsir that's related to it. You study fiqh that's related to it. You study usul al-fiqh, legal theory that's related to it. All of the other sciences that are related to this, you also study them with hadith. And we just did. We studied grammar not 2 minutes ago with inna and innama. In Islamic legal theory, if something does not make sense from what is visible to us from the text, if something does not make sense from what is visible from the text, logic contradicts it, then we're forced to understand something else. Let me give you an example. The Prophet ﷺ said, رُفِعَ عَنْ أُمَّتِي الْخَطَأُ وَالنِّسْيَانُ. The Prophet ﷺ said, literal translation, forgetfulness and making mistakes have been raised from my ummah. Hadith makes sense? What is the literal understanding of this hadith? That our ummah doesn't forget and doesn't make mistakes. Is that clear? When the Prophet ﷺ said, رُفِعَ عَنْ أُمَّتِي الْخَطَأُ وَالنِّسْيَانُ. Forgetfulness and mistakes have been lifted from my ummah. Don't we understand that to mean that the ummah doesn't make mistakes and it doesn't forget? Do we understand that? That's the apparent meaning, yes? Okay. When you use the bathroom here in the masjid, isn't it clear that someone made a mistake, someone forgot something? Isn't that usually the case? Yes? Ya jama'ah. Is that the case? Okay. So what we experience from people making mistakes, from people being forgetful, isn't that in clear contradiction of what the hadith says? Yes or no? Okay. So what do we do? Let me tell you the hadith again. Forgetfulness and mistakes have been raised from my ummah. If you were to hear that, what do you understand from that? Not the literal interpretation, but what do you understand? What do you understand? We're not held accountable for what we forget and what we do accidentally. Is everybody in agreement? How did you come to that conclusion? It's not in the hadith, right? So how did you come? Is the sentence question clear? Important point that I need to make before we can move forward. How did you get to that conclusion? How did you understand that it's sins that we're not the sin of what we forget and the sin of what we do accidentally we're not held accountable for? How did you understand that? The Prophet ﷺ didn't say that. Think about that. Here's another example. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, حُرِّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمْ أُمَّهَاتُكُمْ. Your mothers are forbidden for you. Your mothers are forbidden for you. What is the literal interpretation of that? I can't speak to them. I can't hug them. I can't kiss them. I can't do anything with my mother. Yes? Yes? Is that clear? What do you understand from the verse? What is haram about our mothers? Huh? How did you know that? How did you know that the verse is referring to marriage and not to hugging and kissing and things like that? The verse doesn't say it. Right? So there's an element of implication, right? That's involved in language. Does that make sense? So it's very important that we also take the implication of language and not be literalist when we read the text. Another example. Allah says in the Quran in Surah Al-Kahf, where He's talking about when Khidr and Musa enter into the village, nobody wants to feed them or take care of them. And Khidr goes to fix the wall. يُرِيدُ أَن يَنْقَضْ. The wall wants to fall down. Does a wall desire anything? The wall has no desire. Allah says in Surah Yusuf, وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةِ. Ask the village. Can you go to the roads and the homes of the village and ask the village? No, you can't. So what is implied here? Ask the people of the village. How did you get there? Does that make sense? Is the point clear now? Okay. So how does this relate to the hadith here? إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Indeed, actions are by their intentions. Indeed, Islamic actions are dealt with according to their intentions. Does that make sense? Because remember, the Prophet ﷺ came for what purpose? To explain the Sharia. He did not come to explain language. He did not come to explain grammar and things like that. He came to explain the Sharia. So when the Prophet ﷺ says a'mal, actions, we have to understand those actions to be what? In an Islamic context. And what are a'mal in an Islamic context? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Yes? What kind of actions are we talking about? Good deeds. Islamic context is very important, right? So it's not that the Prophet ﷺ is saying no action on the face of the planet occurs without an intention behind it, but rather the Prophet ﷺ saying Islamic actions that you are going to be accountable for only occur when an intention is put behind it. When the Prophet ﷺ says إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, that indeed actions are by their intentions. Other narrations of this hadith say إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ, that indeed actions are by the intention, singular, not by their intentions, plural. Is there a difference? What's the difference? All actions in the world, everything that you do has one intention? Okay. So what is the point? Remember, we're talking about an Islamic context. Yes? So when we talk about a'mal, we're talking about Islamic deeds according to the Sharia. Your deeds that you do according to the Sharia should only be done for who? Allah. That's why it's singular. Because you only have one intention for Allah. So the other narrations are saying all of the actions that you do in Islam should only have one intention. Which is for who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other narrations that say niyat, that make it plural, also include things that are dedicated to Allah, but also things that are dedicated to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does that make sense? What if I were to do something then that was done for other than the sake of Allah. Does that automatically make the thing haram? Not necessarily. Right? If I did it for some worldly benefit that isn't necessarily an act of worship, that's permissible for me. Therefore, we can divide actions into three categories. Actions that are based in the Sharia. Okay? These actions should only have an intention for who? For Allah. Then we have actions that are neutral. Not haram, not halal. An example, taking a nap, having a glass of water. These are neither haram nor necessarily obligatory upon us. So they have no ruling. When it comes to things that are bad, actions that are bad, right? Then the intentions behind it are also definitely bad. So then for that reason, the hadith is mentioned to be plural, niyat. When we say niyyah, what do we actually mean by that? Because niyyah we always translate it to mean intention. But aren't there different kinds of intentions? You can firmly decide to do something, and then something can come across your mind and leave as quickly as it came. Yes? So are all intentions the same? Let's take a look here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed at the end of Surah Al-Baqarah a verse where the companion said, Ya Rasulullah, are we going to be held accountable for our thoughts? How are we supposed to be held accountable for things that we just think? And the Prophet said no. That's not what's meant by the verse. But also at the same time, if I plan to commit zina, or if I plan to commit a murder, or if I plan to commit a sin, and I sit and I plan and I think and I do this and I make all of the arrangements for it, and I spend time thinking about it, isn't that sinful? It's not sinful? So the ulama have described intentions as being in two categories. Thoughts that come to your heart and leave and you push them away. Those thoughts you're not held responsible for and you won't be held accountable for. But the ulama have said if I sit and think ponder about a sin. For example, I see someone of the opposite gender. I lust after them. I plan something about them. I think about it. I fantasize about it. And I go on and on and I care about this. The ulama have said yes, person is sinful for doing that. So it's not just we can think whatever we want without any repercussions, right? But even though I didn't do the action, the fact that I spent so much time thinking about it is also sinful. So you have to be very careful not even go down that path of thinking about things too much. Going to speed up a little bit. When we make an intention to do an act of worship, is it sufficient to say it in the heart, or should we vocalize it? You know when a lot of times people stand before salah and they'll say what? For rak'ah of Isha, facing the qibla, on wudu, behind the imam, etc. Yes? Is it sufficient to have that intention in the heart, or must I vocalize it? And if you say it's sufficient in the heart, is it recommended to vocalize the intention or not? This is an issue of debate amongst the scholars. Everybody will agree that if you make the intention in the heart, it is sufficient, and you don't have to vocalize it with the mouth. So the issue of contention becomes: is it recommended to vocalize, or is it not recommended? Some ulama will say that there is no evidence whatsoever to suggest that vocalizing an intention is part of the sunnah. Other ulama will say that there is evidence for it. Case in point, Aisha radiallahu anha narrates that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on a particular day asked, "Oh Aisha, is there anything to eat in the house?" The Prophet Aisha radiallahu anha said, "There's nothing to eat in the house." And then the Prophet responded, "Then I am fasting." Isn't that a declaration of an intention? Well, some scholars would say yes. It's a clear declaration of an intention, and therefore you are allowed to vocalize your intention based off of this hadith. Other scholars have said the Prophet is not declaring his intention. He's simply informing Aisha of what he's doing, but he's not vocalizing his intention out loud. The point is, whichever camp you're in, you have evidence to support your opinion. One thing that I really hope to instill in all of you the next several weeks, inshallah, is the ability to be open-minded to other fiqh opinions. And this is very important, because we as a community, not just Lomida, the Muslim ummah in general, is very close-minded when it comes to differences of opinion. They think that because my grandmother or my teacher or my hafsab or whatever taught me this is the haqq. There's nothing that goes against it. Every other opinion is wrong, is batil, and needs to be argued against. When this is not only rational, it goes against what we have learned from our own tradition. Case in point, you all know the Hadith of Banu Qurayza, where the Prophet sent a group of men to attack the fort of Banu Qurayza in the southern part of Medina. The Prophet told them what? Do not pray Asr until what? You reach Banu Qurayza. Clear? When the companions were going to the south of Medina, Maghrib time was about to enter. And they started to talk amongst themselves. Should we pray Asr or no? Some of them said, the Prophet said, do not pray Asr until you reach Banu Qurayza. Very clear, unambiguous instructions from the Prophet. Meaning what? We haven't reached Banu Qurayza, therefore we're not going to pray Asr. Would some of you have interpreted it that way? I might have. Okay. The other group of companions said, the Prophet didn't mean to delay the prayer. What he meant was to hurry up so that you can catch the Asr in Banu Qurayza. How many of you would have understood it that way? So in this room, we have a difference of opinion. The companions themselves differed. When they went back to the Prophet told them, he said, both of you are correct. And if this is the companions who heard the hadith from the mouth of the Prophet ﷺ, how about us 1440 years later? Valid point? Another example, two companions were out on a journey. They didn't have any water to make wudu. They made tayammum and they prayed. After they prayed, before the next prayer entered, they found water. One of them made wudu and repeated the prayer. The other one did not. They both went back to the Prophet and said, Who's right? The Prophet ﷺ told the one who didn't repeat the prayer, you are upon the sunnah, and for you get the reward twice. Tell me who's wrong. Exactly. Right. Imam Ahmad rahmatullahi alayhi was once asked by his students, would you pray behind Imam Malik if he ate camel meat and didn't make wudu? Okay. According to the Hanbali madhab, if you eat camel meat, it breaks your wudu, and you have to make a new before you can pray. So Imam Ahmad was asked if Imam Malik was alive today, and you saw him eat camel meat, and then he came up here to lead the prayer without making wudu, would you pray behind him? Imam Ahmad, you know what his response was? He said, of course I would pray behind him. That's Imam Malik. So it's not about I'm right. And even though this is the opinion that I follow, it doesn't mean that somebody else cannot be right. And it doesn't mean that the other person doesn't have valid scholastic opinions, evidence and support behind that opinion. Imam Shafi'i would say that when I would argue with somebody, I would be afraid that I was wrong and hopeful that they were right. Nowadays, he's talking to his students. He says, nowadays, you guys, you think that you're right and you're hoping that the other person is wrong. So think about it for just one moment before I move on. Take the moment to stop and think, is it possible that I'm wrong? Is it possible that what I've been taught and what I believe to be the truth might be the weaker opinion? Let me go out and do some research, read, ask, understand, and make an informed decision. You wouldn't vote for somebody or a proposition if you weren't aware of all of the issues and their stances and the repercussions of certain policies, right? So why would you follow a opinion if you didn't have any evidence behind it? Because Nani John told you so? Doesn't make sense. Right? So make sure to follow the evidence. Don't follow the individuals. Don't follow the people. And that goes for myself and everybody as well. The second part of the hadith. The Prophet says, and for every individual is what they intended. Now, some scholars, famous scholars like Al-Qurtubi, who's the author of a major tafsir work, he said that these two statements, إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى, indeed actions are by their intentions, and every person gets what they intend, that these two phrases mean the exact same thing. He says that one is simply a recapitulation of the first. It's a rewording of the first. It's an emphasis of the first. And his opinion is supported by many other scholars as well. However, I want to again introduce another legal theory axiom, which is very important when you read things in the Quran. There is a principle in tafsir and a principle in usul al-fiqh that says التأسيس أولى من التوكيد, that the establishing of new information is to be given precedence over emphasizing of old information. What does that mean? If we were to apply it to this hadith, that would mean that we have to interpret the second statement as new information, not as emphasis of the first statement. Does that make sense? So what the other camp have said, this hadith is actually saying the first part إنما الأعمال بالنيات deals with the ruling of the intention. Whereas the second part of the hadith وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى deals with the ruling of the person that committed the action. So the first part of the hadith, what's the ruling on the intention? Is it permissible? Is it haram? Is it shirk? We're going to get to in a second. And the second part deals with the ruling of the person that does the action. Is the person sinful for doing it or not? Yeah, so there's two components to this hadith. Intentions can go beyond actions. And this is to really emphasize the point that intentions by themselves can be very powerful. And a lot of times intentions can be just as powerful as the action itself. The Prophet ﷺ was once journeying on a battle, towards a battle. And he told the companions that were with him in this journey. He said, there are men in Medina that for every valley and ravine that you traverse, they reap the same reward as you. Because they couldn't be here because something valid prevented them from being here. Does that make sense? So what the Prophet is saying is that if a person has the intention to do something, valid intention to do something, but they are prevented from doing so for a valid reason, that person will get the reward of that action even though they didn't do it. Isn't that pretty powerful? Doesn't that tell you that intentions actually have a very strong role in the Sharia? So intentions should definitely be given value. Another example, the Prophet said, whoever intends to do good and doesn't do it will get one reward. And whoever intends to do good and does it will get 10 rewards. And whoever intends to do evil and doesn't do it, no sin upon them. And whoever intends to do evil and does it will only get one sin. Now I want you to think about this for a moment. I want you to imagine if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Well, let me first give the hadith in full. The Prophet said, whoever intends to do good and does it will get 10 rewards, up to 700 rewards, into many multiples of that reward. So a lot of times we only quote the first 10 rewards. But the Prophet actually said that a person can get up to 700 times, even more than that, depending on the action. Imagine now if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dealt with us justly. You do one bad deed, one sin. One good deed, one reward. How many of you think that you would be lucky to break even in front of Allah? Yes? Very difficult. Because remember the man who said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, judge me by my deeds, not by your mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the blessing of the eyes on one side of the scale, and what happened? The scrolls of the man's deeds went flying. Just from the ni'mah of the eyes. So think about if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to deal with you justly. And unfortunately, a lot of us, including myself, work with individuals on a justice basis. You did this, you deserve what you get. And you did this, you deserve what you get. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't operate that way. And neither should we. You see, Allah tells us over and over again. We should interact with people the way that we want Allah to interact with us. Is that clear? We should interact with people according to how we want Allah to interact with us. Is that clear? Let me give you examples here. The Prophet said, "La yurham." Whoever does not show mercy will not be shown mercy. You want mercy from Allah? You need to be merciful as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يَأْتَلِ أُولُو الْفَضْلِ مِنْكُمْ وَالسَّعَةِ أَنْ يُؤْتُوا الْقُرْبَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ وَالْمُهَاجِرِينَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Case in point, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, you want Allah to have mercy upon you, what you need to do. Or excuse me, you want Allah to forgive you, what do you need to do? You need to show forgiveness to others as well. There are so many examples, ya jama'ah. Another one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, من نفس كربة من كرب الدنيا عن أخيه نفس الله عنه كربة من كرب الآخرة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whoever relieves a burden from his brother in this life, Allah will relieve a burden from him in the next life. Another example, same hadith. The Prophet says that Allah says, من ستر على أخيه ستر الله عليه يوم القيامة. That whoever shields a deficiency of his brother in this life, Allah will shield a deficiency of his in the next life. You want Allah to not expose you on Yawm al-Qiyamah? cover the sins of your brother or sister in this life. You want Allah to forgive you? Show forgiveness. You want Allah to have mercy on you? Show mercy. You want Allah to pardon you? Pardon others as well. Allah will interact with you in accordance to how you treat His creation. Very important to remember. Next, and again, I'm trying to make sure we cover everything tonight. Are we allowed to combine intentions? Are we allowed to do something for the sake of Allah while simultaneously doing it for something else? The majority of scholars would tell you that you are not allowed to combine an act of worship for any other reason except for Allah's pleasure. And if something comes out of it as a result, that's perfectly fine. Case in point. I don't like to use personal examples, but I'll use a personal example. The other day, I was in a after Salat al-Maghrib, I was in a rush to leave from Cal State Long Beach. And I told myself, let me pray the sunnah to be a good example for the students. And as I'm praying, I thought to myself, subhanallah, this was not permissible for me to do. Because that automatically says that I'm praying these two rak'ahs for what? For something other than Allah, which is not permissible to do. You see, intentions, ya jama'ah, are something that will be a constant battle. See, there are things in life that we can develop fluency for, and then they become easy after that. For example, my opinion, praying five times a day. It's difficult to get to that point. But once you get there, it's maintaining it is something that's very easy. Fasting in Ramadan. Fasting in Ramadan, when you get to that point, it's very difficult. But once you get there, it's very easy to maintain. But intentions, ya jama'ah, are not something that you will ever achieve. Sincerity is not something that you say, Alhamdulillah, I have reached sincerity. Sincerity is going to be a lifelong struggle. And if you think that you have ever gotten to the point where, Alhamdulillah, I don't check my intentions anymore, you need to check your intentions. Because sincerity is something that you will never be able to achieve fully. So you're probably thinking, wow, this is such a cumbersome thing. How is it possible that Allah would burden me with something that I would never be able to achieve? Well, let me ask you, have you never dedicated something purely for Allah's sake? I'm sure you have. Right? So you have been able to achieve it. But it's something that you have to consistently prove. Remember, هو الذي خلق الموت والحياة for what? ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. That He created this life and death for what purpose? To test you. What kind of test would it be if you answered one question? You live for the Prophet said the majority of his ummah 60, 70, 80 years, everybody after that long life. You expect to live 60 years or so and to be tested only once? No. This is something that is done on a consistent basis. What is the definition of riya? Riya comes from the word in Arabic ru'ya. Do you have that word in Urdu? Ru'ya? Do you have it? No? You do. What does it mean? In Farsi, in Urdu, you have ru'ya or no? Huh? Dream. So it does mean dream in Arabic also, but it also means to see. Right? So ru'ya comes from riya, which means that you do something for the sake of people seeing you. The Prophet said that doing this is called shirk azghar, minor shirk. A person that does something for other than the sake of Allah is essentially dedicating an act of worship for other than Him. What do we know about dedicating acts of worship for other than Allah? Isn't that a form of shirk? Associating partners with Allah? But when a Muslim does it, an act of worship for Allah, not associating partners with Allah in the sense of creation and things like that, but associating partners with Allah in the sense that you're doing an action other than for His sake. So that was what the Prophet called minor shirk. And he warned us to be very important to understand, so make a note of this. Imam al-Ghazali says that intentions are not what is merely on the tongue of a person. For example, I am fasting for the sake of Allah. I am visiting my parents for the sake of Allah. I am reading this surah for the sake of Allah. But rather the intention is the actual driving force behind the action. It is like the person who is full saying, I desire to eat. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yes? Yes? Nobody's agreeing with me. So let me say it again. Imam al-Ghazali is saying that intentions are the driving force behind the action, not merely what you say. A lot of people say, I want to go to med school to help people. Well, that's great. But what is the true driving force behind that decision? It might be to help people, but it also might be something else. So Imam al-Ghazali is saying, your intention is not what you say on your tongue. Anybody can say whatever they want. But what Imam al-Ghazali is saying is that the thing that's the real impetus behind why you're doing it is the intention. So ask yourself the question, why did you come to the masjid tonight? Why did you pray salat in jama'ah? Why do you do the things that you do? What is the true driving force behind it? And if the true driving force is Allah, alhamdulillah. And if it's not, use this as an opportunity to really reflect and think about why am I doing this? And trying to correct it. Because your intentions can be fixed. Intentions can be fixed. And intentions, even in the middle of an act of worship, can be fought off and can be renewed. If I'm praying in the masjid and I hear people talking, the thought might come to me, let me prolong the salah so people might think positively of me. Right? The thought might come to you. If a person deflects that thought in the middle of salah, the sincerity has not been compromised, even though the thought came. But if a person starts to act on that thought and say, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let me read Surah Al-Ikhlas 50 times. Right? So people think that I'm reading along, so I don't have anything memorized. That becomes all of a sudden riyah, which we need to consider. Okay. The next portion of the hadith. The Prophet ﷺ says, so we're done with intentions. The Prophet says, فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَةُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Whoever's hijrah was for Allah and His Messenger, then his hijrah was for Allah and His Messenger. Which forces us to have to understand what is hijrah. What is hijrah? Hijrah linguistically means to leave something behind or to move from one place to another. Okay. In the Sharia, there are two types of hijrah. In the Sharia, there are two types of hijrah. The first one, moving from the land of fear to the land of security. Okay. Moving from the land of fear to the land of security. Case in point, when the Muslims migrated from Mecca to Abyssinia. They migrated from a land of fear and persecution to a land of relative safety. Yes? That's the first type of hijrah. The second type of hijrah in Islam is moving from the land of disbelief to the land of iman. Moving from the land of disbelief to the land of Iman. Like the Prophet migrated, when the Prophet migrated to Medina and established himself Medina as a land of Iman. Companions who migrated after that point to Medina were said to have been leaving behind a land of disbelief and migrating to a land of Iman. Now, this is very important, and I think it needs to be discussed. A lot of people consider, and I don't want to do a case by case, but a lot of people consider the fact that they moved from their homeland to America to be hijrah. And I might get in trouble for saying this, but I do not consider that to be a form of hijrah. Number one, you can make hijrah for economic purposes, fine. That would be the linguistic hijrah that we talked about earlier. But to call it an Islamic hijrah, I think is problematic. Especially when people migrate from countries that are majority Muslim countries. Countries that don't have a prevalence of sin, a prevalence of fawahish, of vulgarities and open sinning, to a land where things like that are very common. How is it possible that you would, not you in particular, but how is it possible that people would consider moving from a land of Iman to disbelief, moving from a land where by and large Muslim morals and ethics are being practiced and upheld, to a land where by and large Muslim ethics and morals are not being upheld? Does that seem problematic? I don't. My intention is not to make anybody feel bad. But I think we really need to be honest with ourselves and just call it for what it is. And I think if we are going to say I made hijrah and compare it to the hijrah of Uthman and the hijrah of the Prophet and others, what kind of justice are we doing to the concept of hijrah in Islam? Hijrah, and just to show you how firm some scholars have held this position of hijrah. Some scholars would say that a person has not fulfilled their Islam. Some scholars, not me. Some scholars would say that a person has a deficiency in their Islam until they make hijrah. Think about that. A person is not a true Muslim, has not fulfilled their Islam until they make hijrah. Now I am not necessarily of that opinion, but reflect on that for just a moment. When is hijrah obligatory upon you as a Muslim? And this is something that is widely agreed upon. This is not some outlier opinion. This is a very generally agreed upon opinion. When is hijrah obligatory upon you as a Muslim? Very good. When you can no longer practice your faith freely. Alhamdulillah, by and large in America, we are able to practice our Islam freely. Now. And this is directed to sisters primarily. The current environment in America has it not been leading, including other factors, but has it not been leading to women taking off the hijab? Yes or no? Yes, it has. Okay. There are other factors, sure. But has not the political climate or whatever been contributing to that? Yes, it has. La shak, no doubt. And when we get to a point as a community where we cannot practice our faith freely, wear hijab, wear niqab for those that want to wear it, or like in certain places in Europe, the banning of wearing certain garments in public spaces or government offices, right? When you are not allowed to implement your deen freely, it is obligatory upon you to make hijrah. Think about that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about a conversation between some of the angels saying about people who said, I was not able to practice my faith in my religion. In where I was living, I wasn't able to practice it. So you know what the angels told that person? Wasn't Allah's ard wasi'a? Alam takun Allahi wasi'a? Isn't the land of Allah vast? You couldn't move anywhere to practice Allah's faith? So it's not, and again, this is for the person that has the means to do so. Okay? If you can't afford to pack up and move somewhere to practice your faith, you're not held responsible for that. But if you have the wealth, you have the ability to do that, and you choose not to, that person, in my opinion, Allah knows best, would be sinful for doing so. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that وَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ لِدُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا. And whoever's hijrah was for the dunya to attain something from it. What does the word dunya mean? Dunya comes from the word in Arabic dana. Yadnu adna. To be low or to be close to something. Now, both of these definitions, close and low, both refer to this life. This life is called as-sama ad-dunya, the lowest heaven. Yes? They call it as-sama ad-dunya, meaning the closest or the lowest, because it is the closest to the next life, and it is the lowest in terms of the six heavens above it. The Prophet ﷺ, and it's no coincidence that this life is referred to as dunya. Because it is, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that it is essentially worth. The Prophet ﷺ says, had the dunya been worth the wing of a mosquito. Or the Prophet ﷺ said, had the dunya been worth the wing of a mosquito, he would not have allowed any disbeliever a drink of water. Think about that. So what does that mean about the dunya in terms of Allah? It means absolutely nothing. And our focus should be where? On the next life. Now interesting. The next portion of the hadith. وَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ لِدُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا أَوْ إِمْرَأَةٍ يَنْكِحُهَا. Whoever's hijrah was for some worldly benefit, or to marry a woman, then their hijrah is for what they intended. Why does Allah compare dunya with women? Why does He use these two examples specifically? Does the question make sense? Now, I don't want anybody to say dunya is lowest and women. I don't want that. Okay. So why is the Prophet saying specifically dunya and woman in particular? Anybody? Married men. I want your response to this answer. Huh? I'm sorry? Married men should keep quiet. Ahsant. Barakallah fiqh. Women. Okay. Recently married women. Let's say. Anybody back there? Why do you think the Prophet ﷺ would say something like this in particular? Huh? Okay, so there's definitely the appeal that women have for men. Ladies, I want your empirical observations. What do you see from men that would cause the Prophet ﷺ to say this particular statement? Anybody? Quickly. We have a lot to cover still, and I want to make sure you guys get out of here. Yes. Anybody? Don't make me just say it. Okay, very good. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ad-dunya mata'." That this life is an enjoyment. وَخَيْرُ مَتَاعِ الدُّنْيا. And the best thing to enjoy from this dunya, al-mar'atu salihah, a righteous woman. Okay. So number one, the point that I was hoping somebody would get to, but nobody's going to get to. So I'll go ahead and say it. Men do some pretty crazy things to get a woman to like them or to love them or to marry them. Do they not? Ladies? No? Maybe not nowadays after you've been married for 10 years. It's okay, subhanAllah. But at the very beginning, right? I'm sure your husband perhaps recited some lines of poetry, right? From Ghulam or something like that, or he said some really romantic things to you or something like that. No? Nobody? Or just no? I'm sure the guys are laughing because they know it's true, right? They made some pretty outrageous promises and claims. Wallahi, if I had the moon to give you, I would give you the moon or whatever, right? There's some really outrageous. 10 years later, what? The full moon means werewolf or something like that, right? It means something completely different. The point that I'm trying to make is that men will do outrageous things for women. Okay. And that's just the nature of men. I can't speak to women doing the same thing. But for sure, men do really outrageous things to marry the person that they want to marry. So the Prophet ﷺ is essentially saying, look at this man. Okay. Look at this man who could have essentially gotten the reward of the hijrah. And is doing something completely outlandish because he's not doing the hijrah for Allah or for his messenger, but he's doing the hijrah for what? To get married. So it was hard for the Prophet to fathom that, but at the same time, knowing the nature of men, they will do whatever it takes to go and marry and be with the person that they want to be with. Also, and the last point before I move on, this hadith obviously this last portion can be applied to both genders as well. Okay. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned men and women specifically because it was in the context of a man migrating to marry a woman. So that's number one. Number two, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned men specifically because that tends to be what is most common. Okay. There might be cases of women doing outlandish things to attract a man. Okay. That has happened. But by and large, the most common thing is that men will do something outlandish to attract a woman, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ mentioned it here. At the very end, Imam Nawawi mentions that the hadith is muttafaqun alayh. What does this phrase mean? Muttafaqun alayh means agreed upon. Okay. And what this means is that both Imam Bukhari and Muslim have agreed that this hadith is authentic. Okay. Why is that important? The two most authentic books that we have in our tradition after the Quran are Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. These two compilations of hadith. They are our number one source of tradition after the Quran. And when both of them agree to the authenticity of a hadith, we as an ummah can close our eyes and accept it. Because we know that these two scholars are at the top when it comes to their knowledge of hadith, their strictness when it comes to accepting a hadith as being authentic, and therefore whatever they say about hadith being authentic, especially if they both agree upon it, we can say unequivocally that this hadith is authentic. These two imams both have collections of hadith that I mentioned, Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Something very quick about these two works, why they're special, what distinguishes them from other works. Number one, both works only contain hadith of the highest level of authenticity. Okay. If you have studied sciences before, you'll know that hadith are classified into categories. At the very top is something that is called mutawatir. Okay. Mutawatir is a type of hadith that has been narrated by so many people that it's impossible that these people would have come together to lie about it. For example, okay. You're standing outside of the masjid after Salatul Jum'ah. Okay. And the first person comes and tells you the Imam said that the sky is orange. Whatever. For example. Okay. You're like, okay, that's strange. Maybe he's confused. The second person, the third person, fourth, five, seven. All of them are starting to tell you that Imam said the sky is orange. At what point do you tell yourself, I have certainty that the Imam said the sky is orange? At what number? It might differ for all of you. Some might take 20. Some might take 30. Mutawatir implies that the number is so high that it's not possible that these people would have come together on a lie. That's the highest form of hadith. Category underneath that is something that we would call Sahihul Ahad. Okay. Authentic hadiths that don't reach the criteria of mutawatir. What is the criteria of a Sahih hadith? That the chain of narrators, all of the men in the chain of narrators are said to be pious. All of them are said to be of good moral character and of good memory. In addition to what they say, the Prophet said does not contradict anything that we have established in the Sharia. Does that make sense? After that is a hadith called Hasan. And Hasan is something that the chain is connected. All of the narrators are pious, but perhaps one of the narrators' memory was not that strong. That automatically degrades it to Hasan. After that, we have something that is called da'if, which is weak. And there are many different types of weak hadith. I don't want to get into that. But weak essentially means that there's a problem with the chain, there's a problem with the narrator, there's a problem with something that the body of the hadith itself. So muttafaqun alayh means, to bring it back full circle, this hadith is authentic. It's not mutawatir, but it is authentic, and both Imam Bukhari and Muslim have agreed upon it. So number one, both of their works only contain hadith of the highest level of authenticity. Number two, these two collections were the first two collections of only authentic hadith. Prior to these collections, the Imams would collect all the different types of hadith. Sahih, Hasan, Da'if, things that were outright rejected. Anything that was attributed to the Prophet, they would put it in one book. Imam Bukhari and Muslim were the first people to come and say, my book is only going to contain that which is authentic. So because they were the first, they gained the most popularity. Number three. Did you know that there are other authentic works besides the work of Bukhari and Muslim? The Sahih of Ibn Khuzaymah or Ibn Hibban. Did you know that these works existed? You've probably never heard them before in your life. But you have heard of Bukhari and Muslim, right? So what does that tell you? That there's something about these works that the Ummah has accepted. Right? The Ummah by and large has accepted Bukhari and Muslim to be a source of authority because of what they contain, meaning the hadith. And lastly, Bukhari and Muslim were viewed as two of the greatest scholars, which is why obviously their books are given so much emphasis. Now, very quickly, because I know I'm out of time. Imam al-Bukhari, just some information about him, just so you know. He was born in modern-day Uzbekistan. His father was a student of Imam Malik. He made Hajj to Mecca when he was 16 years old. Does that sound familiar? Who else made Hajj when he was 16? Imam Nawawi, very good. Imam al-Bukhari wrote his first book when he was 18 years old. Most 18-year-olds are busy doing what? Swiping through filters. Right? Imam al-Bukhari wrote a book called At-Tarikh al-Kabir, which is a book only on narrators of hadith and if they're strong or weak. Imam al-Bukhari's students were Imam Muslim and Imam al-Tirmidhi. Imam Muslim was born in the city of Naysabur. Imam al-Dhahabi says that he started pursuing hadith knowledge when he was 12 years old. His family was wealthy, which allowed him to pursue his studies. Himself, along with Imam al-Bukhari, were considered two of the top four scholars of hadith during their lifetimes. He was also close friends with Imam al-Bukhari. Now, a quick anecdote. Imam al-Bukhari and Muslim were very close friends. Imam al-Bukhari, one of the unique things about Imam al-Bukhari's book is that he would title the chapter of certain portions of his book according to the fiqh opinion that he held. So he would say chapter on the permissibility of doing such and such, and he would mention the hadith, even though the hadith doesn't specify it clearly. Imam al-Bukhari, according to some scholars, was known to have controversial opinions in Aqidah. And on one particular occasion, he was visiting Naysabur, where Imam Muslim was. And the scholar of Naysabur said in his halaqah, he said, whoever is a student of Imam Bukhari, and whoever listens to him, let him get up from my dars and let him leave. I don't want to be in his presence. Imam Muslim got up and he walked out. Not only that, he collected all of the books that scholar had gifted to him, and he sent them back. Because he had that much respect and loyalty for Imam al-Bukhari. Last thing, and I'll end with this. I want you to think about something for a moment. This is the last point, I promise. The Prophet ﷺ told us about three men who were on a journey and sought refuge in a cave. And when they entered the cave, something shook, and a large boulder came down and plugged the entrance to this cave. You all heard the hadith. Yes? Okay. One of them said, why don't we make dua to Allah through an action that we did that was purely for Allah's sake? One of them said that I stayed up all night, and I did not give my family to eat until my parents drank from the milk that was supposed to be theirs because they had fallen asleep. He said, Ya Allah, I did this solely for your sake. And if you know it to be solely for your sake, allow us to exit from this cave, and the rock moves slightly. The second man said, Ya Allah, I had the ability to fornicate with this woman, and she told me to have, when I was right about to do it, she said, have taqwa of Allah, and I left. And Ya Allah, if you know that I did that for your sake, allow us to exit. Rock moved again. The third man said, Ya Allah, I once hired some men, and I paid him. And I paid everybody except for one man left collecting his wages, so I invested his wages. And by the time he came back, his wages had multiplied, where I was able to use his wages to buy sheep and camels and things like that. To when he came back, he took all of these animals and didn't leave a single one behind for me. He said, Ya Allah, if you know that I did that entirely for your sake, move the rock for us. The rock moved, and they exited. Now, the question that I want to ask all of you, okay? The question that I want to end on tonight. If you were the first person in that cave, what would you have made dua with? Do you even have anything that you would have used to exit that predicament? Do you have anything of that status that you can say unequivocally, without a doubt, I did this purely for the sake of Allah? That's your homework to think about. Okay. So I'm not sure if Allahu Akbar because the dars is over or because it was something to think about. طيب. Think about that. What have you done? Or would you still be in the cave? Barakallah. You were the fourth person that benefited from the first three. MashaAllah. But in all honesty, in all seriousness, what would you have done? And I myself struggle to answer that question. What would I have done? What do I have? What do you have? Right. So intentions, as we can see here, intentions are not just something that earn us the pleasure of Allah. Intentions are strong enough, ya jama'ah, to move mountains. And it was only the intention of those people after the permission of Allah that allowed that rock to move. Intentions, ya jama'ah, above and beyond the action itself. They could have done the action, but it was the intention behind it that elevated that action to where it was. So remember that. Don't belittle the action. Right? Don't belittle the thing that you're doing. Put more emphasis on the intention behind it, because I promise you, no matter how small that action is, if it's fueled by a pure intention by Allah, that intention can reach 700 times reward, even more than that, as the Prophet ﷺ said. Next week, inshallah, we will be covering hadith number 2, the famous hadith of Jameel. Really excited for that hadith, inshallah. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we? Yes, sir. Yeah. No. طيب. Beautiful point. I wanted to mention this, but I wanted for the sake of time I didn't. Let me answer this one first. This is important. So the question was, I heard all my life that if I intended to do a bad deed and I didn't do it, that I would get rewarded for it. A good deed for it. But I just said tonight that if a person thinks about something evil, that they're sinful for doing that. Yes? Everybody clear? Is that contradictory? Okay. What is the wording of the hadith in Arabic? The Prophet says, "Man hamma bi sayyi'atin." Hem. What is the word hem in Arabic? Hem in Arabic literally means that they thought about it and then left. For example, Allah says in the Quran, when Yusuf alayhi salam was pulled into the chambers by Imra'atul Aziz, by the wife of the Aziz. Yes? What does the Quran say? Hamma biha wa hammat bihi. She had hem for him, and Yusuf had hem for her. Think about that. Okay. Hem here is not something that is a prolonged thought. So the Prophet is saying, if I think about it momentarily, and then it goes away and I don't do it, that's what I'm rewarded for. But there's a difference between hem and dhann and azam in Arabic. Hem, as I mentioned, is something that comes and goes.
Dhann is something that I think about a lot. And azam is something that I have made the intention to do, and I'm going to do it if I'm not prevented from doing it. Dhann and azam is what we're held accountable for. Not hem, not that momentary thought process. Does that make sense? Okay. Yalla. Question number two. No. من دار الخوف إلى دار الأمن. نعم. لا طبعا. Of course. نعم. Yeah. If that's the reason, I don't have any problem with that. Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with that. I'm saying if the land was safe and secure, okay, and a person left Muslim lands for an equal economic opportunity, or some to another place that was of equal safety and security, and left behind a society that was predominantly Islamic to a society that was predominantly un-Islamic, all other things being equal. But if a person is being persecuted, right? That's what the Muslims did to Abyssinia. Right? So there's nothing, in my personal opinion, I don't, if that's the case, the laji'een, the migrants, the people that seek asylum, there's nothing wrong in my opinion. Yeah. Yes. أيوة. No. No. Yeah. No. Yes. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. So the question was the context of the hadith was that a man had broken their wudu, and as a result, the Prophet did not want to embarrass him, so he told everybody to go and make wudu. That particular instance I know to be related to when a man passed gas in salah, and the people laughed. And so the Prophet told the companions, everybody go and make wudu. Right? Even though he intended the person specifically that passed gas. But because he didn't want to embarrass that person, he sent everybody to go and make wudu. Because of that, some Hanafi scholars will say if you laugh in salah, your wudu is broken. Because of this hadith here. Also, the opinion of Tahiyyatul Masjid, praying the two rak'ahs in the masjid before you sit down. Some scholars say that it's obligatory, and some scholars say that it's recommended. The scholars that say that it's obligatory say that during Jum'ah, a man came into the masjid, and then when he sat down, the Prophet said, "Get up. Did you pray two rak'ahs?" He said no. He said, "Qum fasalli. Stand up and pray." So they understand that he sat down before he prayed. Prophet said, "Get up and pray." That means it's obligatory. The same hadith at the end is the Prophet said, "Oh brothers, do you know the person that I made stand up and pray? He is in need of sadaqah. Go and give it to him." So to understand what? The Prophet made him pray so that he could show people who he was without saying, hey, that person's poor, give him money. Does that make sense? Look at the adab of the Prophet right? Anyways, case in point. That particular hadith about camel meat, however, is I think a little bit more clear because the man came to the Prophet and he said أَنَّ تَوَضَّأُ مِنْ لحم الخروف ومن لحم الضأن, as the hadith says. Do we make wudu after we eat sheep? Prophet said no. He said if you want to. Then the man said أَنَّ تَوَضَّأُ مِنْ لَحْمِ الْإِبِلِ. Do we make wudu from eating the camel meat? And the Prophet said make wudu. Now, despite this, only the Hanabila say that it's obligatory to make wudu after eating camel meat. The other madhahib don't. So their rationale is that the companion Ibn Abbas who said that we don't wudu is broken from what exits the body, not from what enters the body. Does that make sense? So that's one of the evidences that the other camps use. But Allahu A'lam, as I mentioned, every side has valid opinion, and whichever opinion you choose to take. But the point is that the context of the hadith is also very, very important. And I think that's what you were trying to ask. Understanding the context of the hadith, why the Prophet said certain things is very important before we take things into account. However, there is also another problem. There is a and I know I'm taking a lot of time. I apologize. There's a legal axiom that says العبرة بعموم اللفظ لا بخصوص السبب. Okay. This statement says that we are to understand text according to the statement in general, not the reason behind why it was revealed. Okay? For example, لا إكراه في الدين. There is no compulsion in religion. What was the reason why this was revealed? Because the Muslims in Medina used to send their children to go and study with the Jews because they were more literate than the Arabs. What would happen as a result? The Jews would try to convert these Muslim children. So Allah says, لا إكراه في الدين. There is no compulsion in religion. You cannot force them to be Jews or Muslims, etc. But what do we understand that today? We can't force somebody to be Muslim. Does that make sense? Okay. So therefore, as a result, we would say that we take the statement as face value and we apply it. We don't necessarily look at the specific context. And I know that's contradictory to what I just said 5 or 10 minutes ago. And that's why, we don't just open the Quran and read and understand. And that's why we just don't read a hadith and extrapolate our own understandings and rulings. That's why we have an entire field of legal theory dedicated to how, where, why, and when, and what do we extrapolate rulings from the Quran and the Hadith. It's a science. It's not just I read it, and therefore that's the way that it is. So that's an excellent point to bring. I know I went over my time. So if anybody has any other questions, we can do it afterwards, inshallah. Subhanallah bihamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wal 'asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Barakallahu fiikum. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh Besada, for such a beautiful night. Inshallah, next week we're gonna proceed with our halaqa again. Please the word. And if you have any questions, we have a WhatsApp. If you are not there, please reach Sister Rahma or Anis or any of our guys. Put your number in there. And inshallah, if you have any questions or anything, also we have info at masjidalnur.org if you have any questions or any suggestions. Inshallah, check us out. We will be having tafsir halaqas also. And inshallah, it will be starting March 10 between Asr and Maghrib with Sheikh Ahmed Billo, inshallah, and it will start from there to Ramadan, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. If you lost your keys, please come see me. I think maybe it's a Toyota. So check if you lost your keys. I will take care of the lights. I don't know who's turning off the lights, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.